ordre alphabétique, j'invite maintenant chaque organisme à poser une question et une question de suivi. We'll now start with, nous allons commencer par Josh Pringle at CTV Ottawa.
Good afternoon, and thank you for taking our questions. Just looking ahead to Canada Day, I was wondering if the city has a plan yet for what roads will be closed around LeBreton Flats and around Parliament Hill, and if roads will be closed due to crowds and also the possibility of more protests next week.
Yeah, is Kim Ayat on the line? No. Steve, I think plans in place, road closures for Canada Day.
Josh, sorry, it was just hard to hear in there. The volume's not very high in this room, and I missed the last part of the question. Steve Kanlakis, would you mind repeating it?
Sure, no problem. Just looking ahead, Canada Day is just over a week away. Just wondering if the city has a plan in place for road closures around Parliament Hill and also around LeBreton Flats, since that is the new area for Canada Day festivities this year. Because of Canada Day festivities and also the possibility of protests, what the street closures might look like.
Yes, we're working very closely with Ottawa Police. There's an integrated team that's been putting together a plan for Canada Day, and Ottawa Police will be announcing what measures are being put in place for Canada Day and through that whole weekend in a very short time period. We'll be announcing that. I'm not prepared to announce that at that point. We're still in the planning stages. We've been briefing, and we've been working through with our teams exactly how we're going to respond to Canada Day and that long weekend. And I can assure you that Ottawa Police will be communicating with the public before Canada Day with the full plan.
Josh, I can confirm that the police and myself and others from the city will be holding a press conference on Monday with all of that information.
That's perfect. My other question, I guess, for you, Mayor, what's your message to people who may be thinking of coming to Ottawa for the first Canada Day in-person celebration since 2019? They hear the possibility of protests. What's your message to people who are thinking of either coming downtown from the suburbs or coming from out of town into the city when there is the threat of a possible protest or other events happening next week?
Well, my message to people who want to come and celebrate our nation's birthday is not to be intimidated by individuals who may be coming to Ottawa to cause trouble. And to those people who want to come here to cause trouble, think long and hard about that. This is a celebration of our country, our past and our present and our future. It's an event for families, for kids, for senior citizens. And the last thing anyone will tolerate or put up with is the kind of behavior we saw during the truck rally. So, bottom line is we want people to come down and have an enjoyable, peaceful time on Parliament Hill and also at LeBreton Flats and throughout the Byward Market and the downtown core. Support our local businesses because they've had a tough time. But if people are coming to cause trouble, think twice about that. This is not an opportunity for you to use our city as a soapbox for various grievances. Let the people of Canada celebrate their nation's birthday in peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nous allons maintenant à Julien Paquette à la droite.
Julien Paquette, Le Droit. Hello, everyone. This is for Mayor Watson. You're talking about the inclusive zoning. I was wondering, is it the first step in all the work or the programs that you have to be more inclusive with affordable housing within these future development? Are you satisfied with the statistics right now? We have to work harder. We have to create more affordable housing for Ottawa's residents. The inclusive zoning program is one way to help alleviate the pressure. This allows us to authorize building more housing close to the light rail train stations. I would say that the majority of the council would love to have more housing close to a train station. And what we would like also to have the same thing in other wards. So we need the authorization from the province of Ontario. For right now, we've been authorized only to use this bylaw in regions close to the train stations. Follow-up question? I don't know who should be the person to answer this. You were talking about renovictions today. We understand that with the provincial laws that we have, that your hands are slightly tied. Do you have any, let's say, orientations within City Hall to help as much as possible the tenants that could be in such a situation? We see it at Manor Village right now. Have you given any orientation trying to find creative ways to help these tenants? Yes, of course. This is quite a challenge, not only here in Ottawa, but in big municipalities throughout Canada. That's the reason why we will send a letter to the province of Ontario to have a more authority and be able to having a better solution. So we will talking to AMO, the Ontario, the Association of the Municipality of Ontario. We will send them a letter. I will also ask the question to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. We would like to have the authority to be able to help tenants that have been evicted for renovations. Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Hi. First question is on the renovictions report, and this will be for staff. So the mayor, on behalf of council and with help from staff, presumably will write to the provincial housing minister asking the province to address renovation challenge initially by updating provincial legislation. Do you have any concrete suggestions that you will be making in that letter as to legislative changes that would actually be helpful, or are you leaving it up to the province to kind of figure that out themselves?
So Taylor, it's Steve Willis responding. I mean, there are a number of things that have come up in our various community consultations. On one hand, the landlord-tenant board is badly backlogged, and there is little support for tenants from a legal aid perspective today compared to what there once was many years ago. And if you're trying to balance out the needs between landlords and tenants in a fair way, most certainly the city would see a restoration of some of the legal aid support to the most vulnerable people as a good step forward, and addressing the systemic problems with the board, because it's complex. It's not a level playing field. People are walking in and they don't know what the rules are. And that actually, the committee, that was very much part of the discussion, is that the tenants just don't understand what their rights are. The other issues, of course, are understanding the rapidly escalating rental rates in the settlement options for people if they are dislodged and their right of return. And ultimately, those are not within the city's powers, and those are things we'd like to see the province address.
Thank you. And for a follow-up on a different topic, the inclusionary zoning report and the framework it contains, why bring this forward to committee and council for endorsement now, when the report, as I understand it, that informs staff recommendations in the IG framework is based in large part on pre-pandemic data and is in the process of being third-party reviewed and updated? Why not wait until that's finished? I'm also hoping this is something the mayor can address. I know introducing IV was something he campaigned on in 2018, and his term is obviously nearing completion.
So Taylor, it's Steve again. I mean, one of the things is that we cannot adopt this bylaw until the Minister of Municipal Affairs approves the new official plan, which we're not in the position to yet. This council, the vast majority of council in a questionnaire running in the last election said that this was a term of council priority, that we would set a policy direction on inclusionary zoning. And many members of council asked us repeatedly if they could this term understand where we were going with this. So we responded to what council wanted. And the advantage is we had an excellent conversation at the Joint Committee of Community Protective Services and Planning Committee on the issue recently, and there was a vetting of all the pluses and minuses of this strategy and some of the different options. And council gave us some different direction than what staff initially recommended, which will make it easier when we now go out to finalize the process, finalize the legal bylaws, and bring them forward for approval by the next council.
Thank you very much. Nous allons maintenant Rebecca Kwan à Radio-Canada.
Oui, bonjour. Alors, notre question, elle est au sujet de la tempête du 21 mai dernier.
The question has to do with the last storm. When will you have an idea of the management of this storm by Hydro Ottawa?
Rebecca, est-ce que vous pouvez répéter? Nous n'avons pas.
Could you repeat the question?
Oui, certainement. Est-ce que vous entendez mieux maintenant?
Can you hear better now?
Oui, ça va.
Yes,
Alors,
fine.
notre question, elle est au sujet
So our question regards the May 21st storm. When will City Council will have the study on the management of the storm by Hydro Ottawa? Well, I'll try and answer this. We didn't have a specific date. It will probably take 2 or 3 months for staff to carry on that study. We had a presentation from Hydro today here at the City Council session. Mr. Bryce Conrad and Mr. Jim Darrell were here. Hydro will table a report, I think, in 2 or 3 months to complete the project. We had several questions for Hydro, and I'm happy that Mr. Ford, Premier Ford, has decided to pay all the expenses for Hydro and the city. We didn't have a specific total now for the city. It's in the millions, naturally. But for Hydro, I think the last number I heard was between $30 and $35 million. So I'm very happy that Premier Ford did clarify this for me a few weeks ago. Thank you.
Avez-vous une question de suivi, Rebecca?
Any follow-up question, Rebecca? No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, merci.
I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles.